Students, will start with the new topic, chapter 14, sources of energy. Okay, now in class 9th we have already learned about this topic. Okay, and we have already seen that the total energy during any physical or chemical process is conserved. It is neither created nor destroyed. Okay, that is what is the law of conservation of energy. Okay. Now if we should be able to perform endless activity if it is neither created nor destroyed without thinking about much energy resources, but this does not happen, right? So let us see, energy comes in different forms and it can be converted from one form to another. For example, if we drop a plate from a height, now when you drop this plate, the plate has got potential energy because it is stationary. Then it can be converted into kinetic energy or sound energy when it hits the ground. Similarly, when you light a candle, okay, here the chemical energies of wax is converted into heat energy and light energy. Okay. Now the total energy during this physical or chemical process remains the same. But if we consider the burning of candle again, can we somehow put together the heat and light along with the products and get back the chemical energy in form of wax? Okay, no, it's not possible, right? So similarly, we have another example. We have a water, okay, which is at 75 degree and we cool down to 25 degree. Okay, so there is a heat lost. Okay, now what about this heat lost in the environment? Okay, so all these example we see that the usable form is dissipated. Dissipated matlab it is lost to the surroundings in less usable forms. Okay, so this lost energy is not usable much. Hence, any source of energy which we use to do work, okay, is consumed once, cannot be used again. Okay, so let us see what is the good source of energy and what characteristics should be there for the good source of energy. Okay, now see the next page. Okay, we all know different types of energy. We have learned muscular energy, which helps us doing the physical work and all. Then we have got electrical energy, which runs the various appliances. We have got chemical energy, which we use for cooking food and all. Okay, so out of them, which is the best good source of energy? So for getting that, we should first ask questions to ourselves. Okay, now how much heat does any of this energy release when it burns? Second question is, does it produce smoke? Is it easily available? And there are certain more questions also. If you think about, is it cost efficient? This all example arise when we are selecting a fuel. Okay, now when we answer these questions, okay, that time we come to know that if we have a good source of energy, the first thing is it would do a large amount of work per unit volume or mass. So we have a little fuel and it will do large amount of work. Then it is easily accessible or available. It is easy to store and transport, and most importantly, it should be economical. So these are the characteristics of good source of energy. Okay, now just turn the page. So next we go to the conventional sources of energy. The first name that comes under conventional sources of energy is fossil fuels. Okay, now before the fossil fuel was discovered, we used to use wood a lot, okay, as a heat energy source. Sometimes flowing water and wind also used to be used, but when the coal was discovered, okay, then that time we had industrial revolution possible. Now what is industrial revolution? Increase in industries. Now increase in industries led to a better quality of life. Okay, now because of this there was more global demand for this kind of energy. So the growing demand for energy was largely met by these fossil fuels, coal and petroleum, and technologies were developed for using them. But these fuels, when they are formed, it takes millions of years and they are very limited. That's why they are called as non-renewable sources of energy. So we need to conserve them. Okay. So if you see the pie chart, okay, if you see this portion of coal, it is maximum. Okay. Then this portion, that is the hydro energy. Then you have this green portion of petroleum and natural gas. this blue portion of nuclear energy, and this small part of wind. So you can see maximum we have got in India the usage of coal. Okay. Now, in order to avoid this, alternate sources of energy were explored because it is non-renewable and so much of it's limited. Okay, so we need to conserve them. Now, the disadvantages of fossil fuels we all know. Okay, that it causes air pollution. Okay, the oxides of carbon, nitrogen, and sulfur that are released on burning. They are acidic oxides. Now, these acidic oxides, when they mix with rain, they form acid rain. Okay, and this affects our water and soil resources. In addition to that, we have got greenhouse effect gases like carbon dioxide, which causes global warming. Okay, so this is all about fossil fuel. Now, there are many techniques which can be used for reducing this burning pollution caused by burning of fossil fuels. Okay, so let us see one technique. And one of the technique which was discovered was a dynamo. Now, what is dynamo and how does it work? Okay, it's the simplest turbine which has one moving part. So if you can see this, okay, a dynamo has a moving part. This is a blade and this is a rotor. Okay, the rotor blade assembly. Okay, now this rotor blade assembly, okay, whenever a fluid acts on it, it spins the blade. So if you see something like steam or water is made to fall on this blade, and so this the blade rotates. Okay, now this spinning imparts energy to the rotor. So when the blades rotate, the rotor gets the energy. Okay, but this spinning should be done with a speed. When it's done with the speed, the shaft of the dynamo, okay, that is pulled. The shaft of the dynamo is pulled. Okay, and then the mechanical energy. This is the mechanical energy is converted into electrical energy, and you get here the glowing of bulb. This is how a dynamo works. Okay, it works by thermoelectrical, that is by steam, or hydroelectric, that is by water. Okay, thank you.